is like when you came out with the Son of Immigrants speech and all that, I just like flipped the camera.
Oh, you got that too?
Oh yeah, hell
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna send it to
Yo,
you.
hey.
Check him out.
Moved to LA 10 years ago. Been here since March 2014. I went to school for social work. I graduated with a bachelor's in social work. And coming from New York, very similar to LA in the sense of like the immigrant culture, the melting pots of like people from all different parts of the world coming here to like start a better life for themselves and their families. My parents are from Honduras. They came to New York in the 80s, and you know they had nothing. Like many immigrant people that come to this country, and they just want to live a better life and provide a better future for their kids. I think when growing up, I felt a little bit ashamed of like my parents don't speak English well. Like the food we ate, you know, I'm Hondureño, so we eat baleadas, sopa de frijoles, and just stuff that like none of my friends were familiar with. So it was like, I don't know, I felt I wasn't really proud of my culture as much. I didn't feel all the way American. When I went to Honduras, they would call me gringo. They were like, oh, you're a white boy. I'm like, how do I put that? You know, it was confusing to be sort of dual upbringing. Like my parents are Honduran, but I'm growing up in New York. And I feel like as a Honduran kid, I never had real representation of like what it is to be like proud to be Honduran. We're not that good in soccer. You know, we only made it to a World Cup, I think maybe 2 or 3 times. So I always, you know, I wanted to be proud of where I'm from, but it was hard to see it anywhere. But one thing I was proud of was like my parents and how hard they worked to just provide a better future. And, you know, all the stories they would tell me of like, they would have to walk 2 miles to go to school. And, you know, I'm lucky I got to walk 2 blocks to go to school. So growing up in New York, Brooklyn is the hood, you know. It's not an easy place to grow up, and you don't really know that you're growing up in these neighborhoods until like you like, oh, okay, this is a hood, and it's a beautiful thing, and I knew that I wanted to make something out of this, and I can bring something positive into this. I want to help. I think a lot of times we don't do better because we don't know better, and I think like if we you know, with programs like this, like congrats to y'all and this space being built, like you can see that there's more to life than just our block. It's like all we knew was my block. Like we would die for that block, we would do anything for that block because we just thought that was the world, was just that one neighborhood. And then I was able to see the much larger world than just this one neighborhood that I had. Like soccer, it can take you to so many new spaces that we didn't even know existed. Whether it's like you take it all the way as an athlete or just the opportunities of being around the sport itself, there's so many more than just being the athlete itself. Even to opening your own shop to the point you love the culture so much of soccer that you're like, hey, maybe I'm not an athlete today, but I'm gonna open a shop, you know, celebrating, you know, the culture of soccer. So I see it, a lot of cool fashion here from all the kids and everyone. So, you know, I always felt like that was important to me. And I started a brand 8 years ago called Kids of Immigrants. I just wanted to create a brand that represented, you know, us as first generation and spoke about our stories. Like, what is America to us? It's not the sport polo, is not, you know, it's not these heritage brands that are the American heritage. It's much more than that. The past 8 years has been the hardest, most rewarding time of my life. We've been able to just tell our story, represents our story as first generation. My 2 partners are Mexican and Jamaican. So we all saw each other. We all saw ourselves in each other. We are from different places. Our parents are from different places. I'm from New York, LA, Sacramento, and so on. But we had that first generation energy. We made some impossible things happen that at first, I feel like what I like to just say I guess to wrap this all up, I'll speak a little bit more on some of the cool things we've done, but like this wasn't supposed to happen, and we weren't supposed to get this lucky and fortunate. But I think anything is really possible, and everything that y'all working towards. Sometimes I tell myself, I wish I would have dreamed bigger when I was y'all age. And at this age that y'all in right now, I think this is the time to think as big as possible. And the harder it gets, that is a sign that you need to go after this. Because if it was easy, then anyone can do it. You know, for 8 years, out of the 8 years of the brand, for 6 years we were broke. For 6 hard years, we would have not profited anything. And I would still wake up and do it again. And people would be like, you're crazy. Like, you know, I could barely pay my rent. I'm sharing my food. You know, I'm 36 years old. So in your 30s, when you still can't figure out your rent, you feel like a loser, you know. And I just kept believing. And sometimes my whole team, like my own co-founder would be like, yo, I don't know if I can do this any longer. And I didn't give up on it. And it got really tough. I had to learn. I don't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know about paying my taxes or any of that stuff, but I didn't give up. And I went through I love that song from Nipsey where he said, I've been through every emotion to get to where I'm at now. And the only difference between me and anyone else is just I didn't give up. Like when I heard that from him, I almost cried because I was like, I've really been through every emotion to be at this level. You're being very nice and very successful. I think I'm successful in the way of like how I'm viewing life. I think as far as like where my company is at, I think sky's is the limit. So I want to take it to bigger places. November 8th, we have our first Nike collaboration coming out. So we have a shoe coming out, and that is like a dream come true as a kid that loves Nike. We've been working on this project for more than 2 years, and I got to design my own shoe, and it's going to be called the Kiss of Immigrants Nike. I'm so happy to be in this space today because this is the type of spaces that I would like to bring in this collaboration into. So one, I just want to say I'm super inspired by y'all and y'all doing this and being part of this the whole summer. I know how much dedication that takes. Just being honest, like life doesn't get any easier, but we do get better. And the more better you can get, easier it'll be to maneuver through this thing of life because it's tough. And it's gonna continue to get tougher. But if y'all continue to work with this type of discipline, like anything is possible. As tough as it may be, you can still realize your dreams. And I think so what you're saying, Javi, like I'm just a testimony and a manifestation of my dreams. I can't believe I'm at this place where I'm at. I look forward to like just connecting with y'all more. Javi, and the space right here is amazing. I don't know.